If you don't know a dipstick from a tire gauge, be prepared to be encouraged. If you don't know coolant from motor oil, be prepared to be educated. If you don't know PSI from FYI, be prepared to be enlightened. As a side note, I will only focus on internal combustion engines today. As Tocqueville once said, one must surely recognize his capacity to choose among different options to agitate his contemporaries and appreciate different facts. In this spirit, I offer my own opinion on today's society and how we rely more on technology, our devices, when it comes to cars, rather than relying on the expertise of others. I believe that it would be beneficial to my fellow peers, vehicle owners, and professor to learn some basic vehicle maintenance, including checking your oil, monitoring tire pressure, and checking fluids. Fellow drivers, I will explain why avoiding learning these skills because of lack of confidence and how to increase your dependence and confidence in yourself with your cars with some key strategies. I will shed light on compelling reasons why you should be performing simple tasks to extend the life of your car. And lastly, I will talk cash with real examples of how small prevention expenses can prevent major overhaul costs in the end. Compelling, complex, and costly are all used to describe cars. We love them, we hate them, but we need them most importantly, and we can all do a better job learning to take care of them. Most drivers are not confident enough to do basic vehicle maintenance, as learning a new skill for most of the United States is something scary. 80% of us say we don't want to try a skill just because we may be bad at it or we don't have enough time for it. People also avoid learning car maintenance just because they're afraid to admit their ignorance or being intimidated by the process. In a survey done by Cooper Tires, over half of Americans feel intimidated when dealing with a car mechanic. In the same survey, 41% of Americans who were unable to actually identify a car's engine, transmission, alternator, AC compressor, or a battery, which are all major components of a basic vehicle. Cars are expensive, and we want them to last as long as they can. So it makes sense to prolong the life of your vehicle, and it's a great motivator to learn to take care of cars, as they are some of your basic items that you use every day. If you rely solely on technology, you may not even know what you were overlooking and how easily you could be helping your cars function. As we rely on technology in our cars, it is a fault that we have become overly reliant on this technology to let us know everything instead of checking the old-fashioned way. Let me share a case study from one of my personal experiences. Let me tell a quick story about a relative of mine who shall remain nameless. After a year of oil changes on a schedule and routine maintenance, she got busy. She had a lot of commitments, missed a few oil changes, and one day her car was dead as doornail. The engine had faulty oil in it from not being changed. The engine was shot. Not worth replacing at all. This is in 2023. So the dashboard light may have been flashing and screaming, "Please change my oil," but the human fault enabled. We used to rely on the basic rules of thumb, like to change your oil every 3 months, and now the information is always changing and differs by vehicle. Some newer vehicles can go 7,500 to 10,000 miles between changes, but that all relies on reading the book. Even though people know it's the wrong decision, they still don't do vehicle maintenance. Yet, according to the same survey, nearly half of those surveyed believe it's still better to pay for a car repair that should have been avoided if they had simply done a better job of keeping up with regular maintenance. To learn something new, you have to take first small steps. Let's improve your car maintenance skills by starting small, building skills, educating, and diving in with a good attitude. To get started, believe in yourself and in your abilities while making a plan, and define some simple yet measurable goals. I want to learn because it would, and I would feel. Creative timeline for these skills, like would you like to know your car by next fall and how to do that stuff. Observe, learn, and practice, and always be positive. For drivers doubting themselves, you're not alone in your lack of car knowledge. In a study of 2,000 drivers, 1 in 4 drivers feel burdened by their car. And 68% of drivers said they were driving around with one thing wrong with their car. It's never too late to be on the other side of those seats, and it doesn't have to be that hard. YouTube videos also make a great aid, and you will be surprised on how many resources specific to your make and model are out on the internet. In conclusion, seek out a trusted peer or family member if you are struggling to begin to work on your car. From there, I encourage you to build your skill set progressively. As your skills expand, so will your independence and confidence. Let's talk through a skills progression. Start with something goof-proof like a windshield wiper fluid. In this case, I chose this because 70% of drivers are polled extremely confident they could add washer fluid to their car. It's inexpensive and cheaper than any other fluid in the car, and with a cheap funnel in the fluid, no special tools are required. And if you spill a little, wipe it away with a rag. The reservoir is nearly clean and marked underneath the hood. You can do it. The other things you need to tell yourself is yes, you can. Simple checks can save future headaches. Trust me, you can do this. Even my sister can. I am not asking you to personally change your oil or do your own engine overhaul. I am encouraging you just to get familiar with your vehicle, its dashboard, and the flashing lights that may be associated with it. Learn to use your own tire pressure monitor, like shown here. Visually inspect your tires. Check inside the door panel for PSI rating. PSI is also known as pounds per square inch, or how much pressure is on the tires. An inexpensive gauge kept in your car is a lifesaver, especially when you are unsure of the condition of your tires. Next, fill the tire accordingly if it needs air. Many gas stations have free or cheap air to use for this purpose. The next thing to look at is oil. Oil is essential to your engine's function and use every day. Check your oil. Using the dipstick, like shown here underneath the hood, when your car is level, parked flat, not on a hill, and cold, pull out the stick, wipe it with a rag, put it back in, and pull out to inspect for oil. The oil color and consistency can indicate an issue or that everything is well. To add oil, use a funnel and look in the book to see what kind of oil your car may take. It may take 10W30, 5W30, or 15W40, for example. Now, let's start with oil changes. Yes, this can absolutely be done at home, but most people won't attempt that. This is okay. Just go get them done. Skipping oil changes, according to Firestone. Oil changes keep your engine lubricated and clean and essential to running efficiently. Not changing oil can void warranties, shorten the life of your engine. Be sure to follow your vehicle's oil guidelines as they are in the manual. Also, when thinking about tires, make sure you're getting your tires rotated. Let's say you paid $1,000 for a set of tires. These set of tires need to be rotated fairly often. And they have a 65,000 mile rating. These should last you a long time, right? If you rotate the tires so they wear evenly, these tires can make it the full 65,000 mile rating. In conclusion, so in addition to talking about the reducing costs by avoiding expensive repairs, we've covered ways you can help prolong the vehicle life, and we've talked ways to boost your confidence by learning and mastering a new skill. A few simple tasks can go a long way for your car. As Tocqueville says, I am unacquainted with more than deplorable spectacle, and then that means of people unable to defend or to maintain independence. In this context, this means you may reclaim your knowledge and gain some confidence that you can do things yourself. I believe in you. In conclusion to the conclusion, I would like to address the point that I received in my feedback, and that you can, in fact, do your own synthetic oil changes. Just be sure to purchase the right kind of oil at any auto parts store. Thank you.